Okay, so today we will proceed with the explanation of the first chapter of Unit 2, that is World Population, Distribution, Density and Growth. Last week I have already sent you a video regarding this chapter and the write-up. Okay, so hope that help you a lot. Today I am attaching a boardwalk with this audio file. So you need to do one thing, that you need to copy these important definitions in your classwork copy and then listen the audio for the explanation. Before starting the chapters, we need to discuss about some basic concept. Basically, while dealing with the human geography, we need to bother about the population and its concepts. So many concepts are there regarding the population and density distribution and growth. So in this chapter, we will discuss the population, distribution, density and growth as well. The first one is, what is the population? What is the definition of population? And the answer is the number of people living in a particular place. It is a very simple definition of the population. The total number of people living in a particular place, that is known as the population of that place. Okay, let me give you an example. Suppose in your class the total strength of the student is 19. Okay, so the population of the class 12 humanities is 19. Okay, now here we can see the concept of the population in a detailed way. We need to discuss all the basic definitions related with the word population. Let us discuss those definitions. Okay, first one is the overpopulation. What is that? The definition of the overpopulation is actually it is a situation, okay, where the number of people are excess than the capacity of the resources. Suppose the total population means it is overpopulation is kind of a burden upon any country. Next one is the underpopulation. Underpopulation is exactly opposite situation of the overpopulation, where the total number of people is less as per the stock of the resources. Okay, it is as simple as that. Next point is the optimum population. The definition, it is also a situation where the number of people is appropriate with the existing resource or the stock. Next, we will discuss about the concept of birth rate and death rate. What is birth rate? I think we all know. Okay, it is defined as the number of newborn per thousand per year. This is a complete definition of the birth rate, and you need to write this complete definition. Okay, every single keyword is more important here. So again I am telling you the definition, that it is the number of the newborn per thousand per year. That means how many people born per year per thousand people. Okay, the next point is death rate. Excuse me. It means the number of people died per thousand per year. Okay, so the death rate is the ratio or the rate or the number of people died per thousand per year. The next point and the definition is the life expectancy. Basically, it is a kind of psychological concept. Expectancy. Okay, what the total age you are expecting that you will live. Okay, so this is a kind of psychological concept of an individual, like how many years she or he will alive. So these are the certain basic concept we need to remember while talking about the word and the definition of the population. Next, we will discuss the growth of population. It can be positive or it can be negative. Okay, growth always, that shouldn't mean it should be a positive. It can be both positive, it can be both negative. So the first positive growth of population we will discuss. It is basically happen when the birth rate is higher than the death rate. It is as simple as that. The positive growth only happen when the birth rate is higher than the death rate, and in that case positively number of population will increase. Definitely the number of population will increase in the positive growth of population. What is negative growth? Negative growth is exactly the opposite concept of the positive growth. Okay, so if the number of population decrease, it will known as the negative population growth, where basically the scenario will be like this: the birth rate is lower than the death rate. So definitely the population will decrease. So this kind of scenario or the concept is known as the negative growth of population. Now we will discuss about the population distribution of the world. Distribution means the way or the pattern that how the population scattered over or throughout the world. See the picture very carefully. This is the pattern of the population distribution of the earth. Okay, in this diagram we can see properly that India and its surrounding countries, that means the developing countries, they are more dense. Okay, the population, the concentration of the population, number of population is basically maximum there in this kind of countries, and the countries which are more developed, those area, like you can see in this map, like in Australia, the upper portion of the Australia and USA, these countries, Canada, these countries are quite low population countries. Okay, so we will move for the next page. Here also we see the same scenario in a broad aspect. Okay, see the map very carefully. Now we will discuss the concept of the population density. It means number of people lived in a area, means per square kilometer area. Okay, this is a very important definition, and definitely you need to remember the population definition of the population density in a very well manner. So what is population density? It means the number of people lived in a per square kilometer area. That means let me give you an example. Suppose in your classroom consisting with 19 students. Okay, so in your school, again I am telling you, your classroom is consisting with 19 students. Okay, and the area of the room is 220 square kilometer. Suppose this is the area of your classroom. So in the same way, 12 science is having 50 students, 50 students with the same area of the room. Okay, so definitely science is mostly high density class than you, and the number of students are more. So we can see that the room, as the area of the room is same like in science and both in social humanities, but the number of the students is more there in the science, so that's why that room is particularly mostly dense room. Okay, so in this manner we can see in this diagram that India, here basically we are showing the number of population or the population density with the help of some zonation of the color pink. Okay, basically you see the index properly, there are 4 index category. Okay, so the most light pink color describe here the number of people, that is 1 per square kilometer area. Next, the light pink that depicts 1 to 25, then 26 to 29, and the most dense pink color is shown here over 100 people per square kilometer area. So with the help of this diagram we can easily see that the maximum density of the population is there in the India and its surrounding countries. Okay, so why this kind of density we can observe throughout the world, that we will discuss in the next few slides. Because let me tell you one thing, we can't see the even distribution of population throughout the world. Okay, somewhere it is very dense, somewhere it is very sparsely populated, somewhere it is the population is very scattered over there. So those kind of categories are based upon some factors. Okay, let me discuss those factors in the next few slides. Here we can see the factors affecting the distribution and the density of population. While talking about the factors, we need to divide those factors into two categories, that is the physical factors and the next one is the human factors or the socio-economic factors. First we will discuss the physical factors. Under the physical factors, relief, climate, vegetation, soil, water resources and natural routes are there. These are the major physical factors by which we can see the uneven distribution of the population throughout the world. How relief are responsible for the uneven distribution? Let me tell you one thing. While talking about the topography of any particular place, somewhere we can see the mountain situated, somewhere we can see the plain situated over there, and somewhere we can see the plateaus. Okay, so it is quite obvious the plains area, there we can see the most concentration of the population, as because we get the all amenities of the livelihood basically in a better aspect there in the flat area. So that means mountain area is quite high terrain based area, so that's why the communication and the transport network that not possible in that place, it is not constructed well. So that's why a flat area is always very attractive for the higher density of the population. Next point is the climate. Areas with a moderate rainfall encourage a dense population. Why? Basically, we all know that agriculture depends upon the climate. Okay, agriculture always depends upon temperature as well as the precipitation. So the area which is very high in rainfall, not high means suitable in rainfall, definitely that particular place is suitable also for the agriculture. So more agriculture, more industry, more facilities, that means the more population. Next point is the vegetation. As well as vegetation is also very important factor which depends, means responsible for the uneven distribution of the population. Suppose a place is highly dense with the natural vegetation. Okay, so to get the wood and kind of the forest thing, to get that the maximum people they concentrate over there. Okay, so vegetation is also a very important factor. Next point is the soil. We all know that soil is the most important factor for the agriculture. The places which is very suitable for the alluvial soil, that is very suitable for the agricultural purpose as well. So the place which is very fertile in soil, that place is definitely very suitable for the agriculture as well. Next point is the water resources. The places which is enriched with the water resources as well as the natural roots, those places are very suitable for the concentration of the population as well. So these are the certain aspect of the physical factors which are responsible for the uneven distribution of the population. You can see in this map that how the relief is responsible for the uneven distribution of the population. See, in India, in the Ganges Valley, there we can see the high density of the population. Why? Because it is a flat area. Okay, and in the Himalayan region, as it is a mountain area, so that's why that place is quite low density population zone. In this slide, we can see that UK is the high density population zone. Why it is high density population zone? As because the climate is very favorable for the population. Okay, it is very favorable for the human being, is very favorable for the cultivation, is very favorable for the livelihood as well. So that's why this place is highly densely populated area. Likewise, in Alaska, Sahara is also a low density zone. Why it is low density zone? Because we all know that the desert is cold desert of Sahara is also there in the Alaska. In the next slide, we can again see the Netherlands is depicted here as the high density zone. Why it is known as the high density zone here? As because of the soil fertility. Okay, the soil is very favorable here and the soil is very fertile over here, which is very suitable for the agricultural purpose as well. In the next slide, we can see here that these two places extreme opposite. One is the desert area and the second one is a valley area. So the flat valley area where we can get all the amenities, we can put up there the constructional work in a very proper manner. We can set up there, we can frame there the communication and network. We can set up the industries over there. We can do the agriculture over there in a very proper manner. So that's why plain area is far suitable for the population or the settlement. Okay. In the next slide, we will discuss the human aspects. In this point, we can see the economic, political science and some other kind of social factors are responsible for the uneven distribution. Economic development means any particular place which is very well constructed, which is very well connected with the other cities or the other part of the nation. Definitely the industry should be there, okay, as well as the agriculture. Suppose you grow up crops, so you need to sell it to the market. So for that purpose you need a better communication system as well. And that place which is very suitable for and secured in a political aspect, so that place definitely concentrate the maximum population. So these are the some certain factors which are responsible for the uneven distribution of the population. Here we can see in the Europe, that is a high density zone. Why it is high density zone, and the Sahara, why it is low density zone? As because all the natural resources as well as the man-made resources are very favorable and high and rich in Europe, and it is exactly very negative in the Sahara area. So that's why the maximum population situated over there in the Europe and the least population density we can see observe here in the Sahara. In this slide, we will discuss now a very important portion of this chapter, that is the demographic transition model. Now we will discuss the demographic transition model. This model shows the trends of the change of the population over a time span. Basically, industry-based countries faced all the 5 stages. See the picture very carefully in the next slide. After explaining this picture, the concept of the demographic transition will be clear in front of you. See in this picture, the first stage, in the first stage, birth rate is lower than the death rate. So that means the population is stable. In the next stage, rapid decreasing in death rate and the birth rate is stable, so the population is naturally decreasing. Third stage is, it indicates the situation of the rich countries where the birth rate generally fall down and it is gradually fall down. In the fourth stage, the birth rate and the death rate both are quite low, so that the population is stable. In the fifth stage, birth rate exceptionally low and the death rate is also low, so population is decreasing. So in that way we can see in the demographic transition model, it is a relationship between the birth rate and the death rate, where somehow somewhere the birth rate is high than the death rate, and somewhere it is low than the death rate, and somewhere it is the exactly same. So this is the relation between the birth rate and the death rate, and throughout the demographic transition model we can depict it. So by this point I need to conclude my explanation over here. Next week we will discuss the rest of the portion, that is the migration, its cause, consequences and effects. So till then, and one more thing is that next week also I will provide you some question answer regarding this chapter. Okay, so till then keep preparing yourself with the notes and all, and be very safe. Bye bye, take care.